you're talking about businesses that are already established. Give a word for those who are in the starting phase. What tips would you give them even as they're launching into a market that has its traditions set, but they have the advantage of having new thinking, they're more malleable? What approach do you think you would give them even as they're getting into the market?
Start today. Get involved. The contract that society has had with the environment is absolutely being torn up. The new rules for the next 25 to 50 years or driving towards this Agenda 2030 are absolutely changing. And the amount of disruption and the ability for new players to come in, that's what we want. I mean, frankly, we would be more than happy to see, 10,000 ADECs, because they are going to deliver change and disruption, and that's the scale that the world needs. What we don't believe that just by continuing on and having a 10% change, we need to have things change, and only new thinking, new companies, startups can bring that into the environment.
Give the value to data at this point, because we've talked about the strategy to go in, start early, yes, but what value do they need to give to data?
Again, data is our currency. It is the currency of not just for us, but it's the currency of the future. It's being able to make rapid decisions across huge amounts of data so that you can adjust your product or service very, very rapidly. The amount of data that's being created every day is basically 90% has been created just in the last year from all of these different devices, and that's only going to continue to go up.
Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you for having me.
The story behind ADEC innovations. When it comes to innovations, data is currency, as we've kept emphasizing during this conversation, but that is a conversation that cannot end in one sitting. It's one that the African continent needs to take up, and take up aggressively, with governments being more keen on adopting data-based policy changes to be able to be responsive to the needs of the continent at this point, not to mention the needs of Kenyans, even as we're adopting a more conscious approach in policy making. Thank you so much for joining us from the team and myself. Enjoy the rest of your viewing on Ebu TV.